Welcome to What the Fuck Files, an in-depth look into things that make you say, what the fuck. This is Purple Pancake,
Blue Spaghetti,
Pink Taco.
On this episode, we examine what the fuck was going on with old medical practices. In my research, I realized that back in the day, doctors just pump you full of shit and hope for the best. I don't actually think there was any, research going on.
Any science?
I don't think there was science. I don't even know if it was a word. So, the first one I found pretty disturbing was mercury. Mercury has even been found in Egyptian tombs dating as far back as 1500 BC. Mercury was believed to cure ailments, heal wounds, prolong life, and a whole bunch of other things. One Chinese emperor, can't pronounce that dude's name, use your imagination, was obsessed with seeking the elixir for eternal life, and he ingested a mercury compound that was given to him by doctors and scientists. Ironically, it killed him.
Yep.
Also, it was believed to be an antiseptic property. It was great for cleaning out wounds. Dentists even use mercury for tooth fillings. Until people started getting weak muscles, numb hands and feet, rashes, memory loss, vision, and loss of hearing. And then they realized, hey, mercury is a fucking poison.
Yeah, I wonder how long this went on for.
Quite a long time.
Jesus.
Yeah, the dangers of mercury really wasn't communicated until just a couple decades ago, really.
Yeah.
No one really realized it.
And then,
Really?
and then nobody uses it, and everybody says, don't fuck with that thermometer. And nobody even knows about mercury until you touch a thermometer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how I
but
found
since
out
the
about
80s, all thermometers have been made with alcohol instead of mercury. So
Yeah, which is who's like getting like a grudge match, backyard fucking wrestling match with fucking thermometers? Why was it such a big deal? Who was fucking around with thermometers that everybody's like, it's a hazard?
So, I mean, you think about it. It's liquid metal. People would break the mercury open so they could play with it.
So it was dipshits. It was the same kind of people that would eat fucking Tide Pods.
Yeah, but they didn't know back then. Like, we know if you eat a Tide Pod, you could die.
I'm
There was
talking about
not
people
a
that know.
warning label anywhere that said breaking a thermometer and playing with the mercury was going to hurt you. They didn't know back then.
I don't know.
They did not know.
I mean, there should have been a warning label.
I mean, it's like silly putty, but it was liquid metal.
But if there was a warning label on it, if you broke open a thermometer just for shits and giggies to play with the mercury, you probably would also eat.
Well, if there was a label on the thermometer, you probably couldn't tell what your temperature was because you tried to peel the label off, and then you'd break the thermometer and have mercury all over you.
I have never come across a thermometer, mercury or otherwise, that was so fragile if I touched it would just fucking break.
So I know we lived in a house when I was a kid, and it's a thermometer, but it wasn't like the thermometer you're thinking of. It was a thermostat thermometer for a furnace.
Yeah,
it had a glass ball in there with mercury in it. If you wanted it hot, it went this way. It made the connection between it. If it went the other way, it made it cold because of two connections.
I've lived in some old ass houses too.
I mean, that was what
Who's
set up.
punching them?
You see liquid metal. Like, if I didn't know it wasn't bad for you, I would totally break one of those things and play with them. It's liquid metal.
That's how I found out about it. I thought it looked cool as fuck. And I'm like, Dad, what is this? Let's fucking play with it. He's like, nah, dude, this is no good.
I guess I'm just not as curious.
Or maybe I'm just one of those Tide Pod dudes.
I'm not one of those Tide Pod dudes, but it's liquid metal. You don't see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rarity.
Right. But also, if you knew about it, would you be manhandling a thermometer? Like, you hang it on your wall outside and you're like, fuck, it's cold today. Like, I don't
know. I mean, look at the light bulbs now, right? The little swirly guys. Those have mercury in it. If those shatter, you're supposed to call the hazmat crew to come and clean up the shattered light bulb.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
That's how much there's enough mercury in there to be that dangerous.
Damn.
Did you guys know that?
No.
I just told you. How many of those have you seen broken, probably? A few, right?
Hey, what happens if they blow out?
Well, they just blow out as long as
break,
it's still solid, you
in the
throw it away.
glass?
But you're not just supposed to throw them away either. You're supposed to take them to a recycling center. How many people do that?
I mean, I know I'm supposed to recycle a whole bunch of stuff that I don't, but they don't make it easy.
But
for
that's
me to
why
recycle.
people didn't know this about the friggin' mercury. Because it's not communicated well.
Well, don't touch mercury and don't eat Tide Pods.
Unless you have bad breath.
Just don't eat Tide Pods.
Then give it a try.
And also, I think Pod ruined a t-shirt I hadn't even gotten to wear yet.
So sad.
Pretty upset about it.
But yeah, people don't know. It's a lack of communication.
It is. So again, don't touch mercury and don't eat Tide Pods.
And the world is not flat.
Yes. So,
says blue spaghetti.
Another thing, I think this would be super popular today. Heroine cough drops and heroine cough syrup. I think it was mostly syrup back then.
I bet that was pretty fucking righteous.
Marketed as something to take for simple coughs and wheezes.
Wow.
At the same time, it was also marketed as being non-addictive. It gets better. But this is exactly what the German pharmaceutical company Bayer, like Bayer aspirin?
Yep. One and the same.
To this day, a very successful company did at the end of the 19th century and for some of the 20th century. Got a cough here, indulge in some heroin. Heroin was also marketed as something that could treat morphine addiction. But shortly afterwards, the company faced slight embarrassment when it was found that heroin is metabolized into morphine in the human body, thus making the product a faster-acting form of morphine.
Good Lord.
Where was research and development in this cough syrup?
So you got to remember, back then it didn't exist like it does today. Heroin was derived from opium. Opium is derived from that friggin' poppy plant. It was something natural. They just chemically did stuff to it. Hey, this makes me feel better. Hey, it soothes my sore throat.
When I see words like pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, but this is over 100 years ago.
How turnt do you have to be for somebody to be like, this may not be regular?
They don't know that. They didn't know that. That's what research and development is. And back then, there was not the rules and regulations to put it out there. Up until the 1970s, plumbing pipes were made from lead. We know lead is bad for you.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't know. The science wasn't there.
Over a long extended period of time. One spoonful of fucking heroin should have turned up immediately.
So how come I don't read in the newspaper clippings of back then that there were 19 overdoses in downtown Chicago?
I get 10 shades of fucked up off a NyQuil. There should have been immediate results of a spoonful of heroin!
Maybe it wasn't as potent back then. Now it's got all the fucking phenol, and all other crap in it, right? Fentanyl, yeah. That stuff you just look at it can kill you. It was different back then. Coke's original formula had cocaine in it. Coca-Cola used to be a prescription. Pop in general was made at the pharmacy. It's a different world then than it is now. These people did not understand that. Mm-hmm. You wait till it comes out that, yeah, cell phones really do cause cancer. People in hurry, like, oh, stupid people have that black plastic metal thing at their face all the time.
No, I guarantee you, if that came out, people would be putting fucking lead plates in their head and shit to block the signal.
Yeah, and they'll die from the lead poisoning from the lead plates in their head.
Okay, alright, steel or what the diamond-encrusted fucking skulls. Whatever, people are not giving up their cell phones, even at the risk of cancer. Plus, nowadays, they put cancer in my shower curtain, my fucking candles.
Well, back during the Wild West days, nobody's going to give up their six-shooter either. Everything changes. It's a different time. It's a different world.
We still got our six-shooters.
I don't have a six-shooter.
You were talking about getting a fucking regular revolver.
But I don't have a six-shooter. Back then, it was a way of life. You're missing the point I'm trying to make here, purple pancake.
Listen here, blue spaghetti. Anyway, so since we've already brought up morphine was a powerful opiate, and it was used in painkillers. Do you want to know what the most I don't know, how do I put this? Like, popular product it was put in?
Aspirin?
Nope. Wenchell's teething syrup, a licorice-flavored liquid that was used to soothe teething babies' pain.
See, there's no statistics out there saying how many baby addicts there were, now was there?
Yeah, but you give your kid the flu shot and they're autistic as hell. We won't get into those non-vaxxing people.
They're flat earthers.
We die
They probably are.
Okay. There was also children's cocaine cough drops.
Oh.
Specifically listed as a child's medication. Cocaine was used as a cure-all for painful symptoms such as toothaches. They even gave cocaine to kids. This ended quickly when even non-experts realized the difference between treating the symptoms and the root cause of the condition. So the tooth just kept hurting, and they're like, well, can't keep getting turned. Gotta take care of this.
Yeah, I wonder what their reactions were when they were down in those
I
cocaine
don't
cough
know.
drops.
Listen, all I know is I've seen babies in NICU that were delivered by parents on drug or a mom on drugs, and watching them come down off that shit, it's fucking horrifying. Again,
God, I bet.
how the hell did you not know that your kid was coming down off cocaine cough drops?
Because they didn't know they didn't know back then.
But I'm just saying, as a mom, I know normal child's behavior.
Yeah, but not if you're a first time mom.
I mean,
And back then, science wasn't what it is now. We didn't do studies. We just assumed, oh, this is God's way. What about jaundice, right? Jaundice was a horrible thing until a nurse from the Red Cross realized, hey, sunlight helps cure jaundice. Let's take the kids out in the sun.
I would have hated to gotten the clap back in the day.
dude, I would have hate honestly for anything. For this, it was mostly just, looking up old medical products but
Yeah, back then it was narcotics and leeches. That's what you got. What do you got? You got narcotics. What do you got? No, leeches.
No.
Oh, there's some rattlesnake oil I'll sell you.
You got narcotics, leeches, lobotomies,
Yeah. Right.
and according to my research, a shitload of enemas. Almost everything was delivered up the old poop chute.
Lots of amputations.
Yeah, which honestly, I don't even know if they should have tried it to the success rate on amputations back in the day, but
Sometimes they have a choice.
better safe and
It's better to lose an arm than lose your life because of gangrene or something.
Yeah, when did they find penicillin, or create it?
It was early 20th century.
Yeah, that was...
Moldy bread or whatever.
Well, hey, here's the thing though. Do you think that back in the day, more people were tolerant to penicillin than are now?
No, more people are more tolerant now because it's overprescribed.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, it was a new thing to them. So, no, your body wasn't used to it. Your body adjusts, and these bacteria and everything get adjusted to it. And they're like, oh, sorry, that doesn't work on me no more.
They're saying there's going to be bacteria sooner rather than later that's going to be able to go.
Yeah, your antimicrobial soap.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into that discussion too, but a lot of this stuff, all we're doing is making the bacteria and the viruses stronger, and they can resist. They're resistant.
See, this is why I don't get... Okay, look. Eventually, I want all of my kids to have the flu at least once. And I almost didn't vaccinate my oldest for chicken pox. I'm like, is it going to, in the long run, be better for him to just get it and get it over with, or get the vaccine and never have had to have his body fight that off? But then, there are no chicken pox anymore because everybody vaccinate their kid with chicken... Well, not now. I got to worry about whether or not my kid's going to get over polio.
I got chicken pox when I was a kid.
I did too?
I had the vaccination.
Oh, I never had the vaccination.
I had the vaccination.
I'm not sure if I got it. I know I had chicken pox. So.
I didn't have the vaccine, and I got chicken pox.
I got the vaccine, and I got chicken pox.
I just remember being itchy and butt naked
think
in the
about
living
this.
room
This
covered in
is-
calamine lotion.
If you've had chicken pox, your likelihood to get shingles is reduced because shingles, if your body is ready for the shingles virus, if you've had chicken pox before,
That's
because it's
another
so
thing I
similar.
worry about.
But that's how
I don't-
vaccinations work. So
I don't know. Sometimes I think the body, I don't rush my kid to the doctor with every sniffle. Fight it off.
Yeah.
Fight off that fever. Fight off that whatever. Sometimes I think the body needs to experience something.
Yep.
It's like throwing somebody on a plane who's never skydived before and be like, jump out and be like, I don't know what to do. It's like, figure it out, and then kicking them the fuck out in the sky. The body's like, what the fuck? So, I don't know. All I had this ancient shit coming back though. But it's the common practice with everybody. That's why they switch you antibiotics. That's why they switch you medications. Eventually the body gets used to shit.
exactly.
And then it creates new shit. And then a new drug has to come out. And then eventually that's useless, and so on and so forth.
Medical today is all about money. It's not about curing people. I don't care what anybody says. It's
Oh.
all about profit.
I agree 100%.
And you know what? I know a lot of people blame the hospitals and shit for it, but it's not them.
It's the insurance company.
Insurance
It's
companies.
the insurance company's fault. Yep.
The hospitals are like, we need help. And the insurance company was like, okay, but you're going to pay us 5 times what it's worth. And then so the
America.
hospital's like, well, fuck, we got to charge the patient 10% what it's worth. Or 10 times what it's worth.
Yep.
That's not exactly how it worked out.
But still.
Similar, but you got it backwards.
It's because of
like the
insurance.
insurance company's like, hey, we want to do this, and the hospitals were like, well, we do that for people now. But no, you're going to charge them more. And you're going to charge us less because we're going to have them as customers. It's all big racket.
Yeah.
So, what else was there?
Bloodletting. Do you remember that old favorite? So they used to actually have, and I remember this isn't on my research, these special little bowls. I don't know if you've ever seen it in any movies or whatever, where it looked like a section of it had been chipped out, but it was smooth. It was a special bowl that you laid your arm in where they would cut you open and let out the blood.
Oh, really?
They thought it was... Basically, the idea was good blood out, the body creates better blood. So anything that was in your blood was out now, and then you made new blood and you got better.
Oh, wow.
That's before cell theory, so we didn't realize there was small microbes making us sick and everything else. We just thought it was something in the blood.
It was phased out in the 1850s. So.
Yep. Cell theory was like early 19th century, so.
Although some places around the world still practice it.
Yep. Just like leeches.
Bonus fact. Ever wonder why the barber pole's red, white, and blue?
Nope, because I figured that out watching TV.
Wait, what? How did you find out?
I mean, they were talking about it. It was your local barber was also your local surgeon. So.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh,
So,
shit. I didn't know that.
Well, bloodletting was used to be common for most surgeons, though it was beneath them. So barbers would do bloodlettings in additions to haircuts. The red, white, and blue on the barber pole represents red blood, white bandages, and blue veins.
What the fuck? Wow. Never knew that.
We did! We watched that on...
Modern Marvels.
Modern Marvels, I remember that.
That or How It's Made.
How It's Made, the
it's How It's
barber
Made.
pole.
'Cause
Yeah,
there's
How It's
only
Made.
one company left in the world that actually still makes those. So
Really? Huh. Shit.
So one of my favorites, the lobotomy.
I know a few people that could still use one of those.
absolutely.
Amen. So they say that you only use 10% of your brain. So what could possibly go wrong with removing part of it?
Same people thought it was okay taking cocaine cough drops and heroin for sore throats.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The lobotomy was used as a treatment for misunderstood mental conditions, including melancholy. So you could just be like, I'm fucking down today. And they'd be like, lobotomy! Stabbing needles in you and shit. So, about 50,000 lobotomies were performed in the United States before the practice was discontinued in the 1950s.
So in that time frame, in the later years, people knew the lobotomy didn't help anything.
They
It was a
still
way
did.
it was a way to shut people up. If you had an enemy or something, you get them claimed insane. They knew you did something bad.
Also, just a side note for all the feminists listening and the ladies like, this shit's so it is fucking feminist. Back in the day, a husband used to be able to commit his wife just by saying, this bitch is crazy. That was it. She wasn't allowed to say anything. She could be like, oh, he's seeing somebody else. Oh, I can't have babies. Whatever. Just to get rid of her. He could take her and say that she was insane. And they would commit her. And there was nothing that her or her family could say to get her out.
Like Chris Watt wishes he could have done that.
Oh my God, what a total fucking piece of shit. Anyway. The benefits were mixed at best and lethal at worst. I cannot talk tonight. Not enough patients showed any positive changes, while the rest turned into vegetables or came down with a bad case of death.
Please define a good case of death. Purple pancake.
People that kill their kids getting murdered. Or lethally injected. That is a good case of death, in my opinion. Ooh, also, somebody who's in a lot of pain, finally just releasing and going off until, it's a release.
Okay.
I mean, there is good cases of death.
Yeah. Okay.
The poisonous spiders. It's a good case of death when one of those bite it. Mosquitoes, they can all die.
Yeah.
We don't need them. We don't need them.
We really don't.
I'm allergic to bees. I totally need bees. I want bees. I'd raise bees, but the mosquitoes need to fucking go.
What else we got?
Urine therapy.
Urine therapy?
Urine therapy. This is a bit of an umbrella term, since certain cultures or beliefs call for the using urine in different ways. Some survivalist aficionados might think it's okay to drink. It's not really. While an ancient Sanskrit text, not reading that word, suggested massaging urine into the skin. They called it the sexy urine massage.
Yeah, some lady at the bar told me I had like acne, that to take my piss and wipe it on my face and it would help clear it up.
First of all,
I had this dumb chick in high school tell us to do that with our semen. So
Really?
actually, funny medical point. Brad, don't ever run piss on your face.
I did though. I tried it.
Semen does help with the skin. So
just remember that later. Just remember that later.
That money shot. You better fucking put it in.
Blue spaghetti.
I'm sorry, blue spaghetti. Purple pancake is going to explain some shit to you.
Blue spaghetti.
So
let me get some syrup on purple pancake.
Your entire body has a pH level. Okay. Not just the vagina or like your mouth or whatever, or your gut. Your skin has a pH level. When your skin is too acidic or whatever, it acts up. So, urine, I can kind of understand where she told you to do that, but you can do that with a toner. You don't need to wipe piss on your face. They don't create things that are in semen, so... Just saying. Anyway.
So, with urine, too, doctors, to diagnose if a patient had diabetes or not, would actually slosh the patient's urine in their mouth to see if it tasted sweet.
Really?
If it was sweet, that's how they were able to determine if somebody had diabetes.
I have insulin resistance. When my sugars are high, my breath and my pee all smell sweet.
Yep, so... They would smell it, and they'd get down to it, they'd slosh it around their mouth. Yep, that's sweet.
Wow.
The sexy urine massage
Golden rain
has long since become unfashionable outside homeopathic medicine, which isn't taken seriously in professional circles. I wonder why.
I wonder if R. Kelly's cult practices that.
Oh my god, I bet you they started it and they just inserted this shit into my research so I could pass it on. Anyway, this is why you don't put piss on you. Peeing on jellyfish stings actually just makes it worse.
Really?
Yeah, I had always heard that too, that if you get stung by a jellyfish, it makes it worse.
The people always
I
went
saw it
to
on Friends.
Florida with. I was always hoping they'd get stung for I could just pee on them.
Well, if it's somebody you hate, rip it away. Say that you thought it did some good. It's just going to put them in more pain. Urinary tracts still hold bacteria, so urine isn't always sterile. Peeing on feet to your athlete's foot is just silly.
Really? I thought it worked.
I thought it worked too, but...
Well, say with the jocks in the shower, they piss in the shower anyway. I mean, and they never should have had athlete's feet. It should never been a problem.
See, what I think it is and why they thought it helped, if you're an athlete and you shower afterwards and you get all dry and stuff, the athlete's foot becomes less because you're washing it away in the moisture and the whatever. So they pee on their feet in the shower. They thought it must be the piss that's curing my athlete's foot instead of a good old-fashioned shower and scrubbing in between my toes.
Man, thinking back on it now, I've peed on myself quite a bit.
Oh my god.
I've tried piss for acne. I've peed on my feet.
We're going to have to do a whole pee episode about...
Brad, I'm worried about you.
I know.
That's the pink taco.
Pink taco, sorry.
We're going to have to get into depths into the pee history of the pink taco.
Man, we've all blown our cover.
I mean, yeah. Remember this basic fact. Urine is a liquid that your body throws away. It filters out nasty stuff that it can't use, which is why we pee in the first place. Don't put it back into your system. I think that's a pretty good message.
Yeah.
It is a good message.
I think that's a great message. Finally, we get some good medical advice from this research. Okay. Tapeworm for weight loss. I'm on board with this. Doctors actually used to prescribe tapeworm eggs for people, mostly women, because apparently women just aren't allowed to be fat, but it's okay for dudes, to lose weight. The tapeworm would grow inside the patient's gut. Eating some of the person's food, weight loss isn't always healthy.
Have you ever seen a tapeworm?
Listen, if for some stranger, I'm not going to infect myself with tapeworm, but if I ever got one, I'd leave it a couple extra weeks before I got medication for it.
You're out of your mind.
Just saying. Look, it says weight loss ain't always healthy, and neither is the mind of somebody that's really dead set on losing weight. If I gotta have me old tapey for a couple of weeks, well, that's just, I'll name him and shit. I don't care.
What would you call him?
I don't know. I guess it all depended on what I was watching or feeling that day.
Would you name it a boy name, a girl name?
Probably a mixture of both.
Something wrong with you, Purple Pancake.
Well, blue spaghetti, we all can't be fucking 100% all the time, you know?
You have a pet tapeworm living inside of me.
So, maggots. This one is actually okay. So, covering an infected wound with maggots sounds like a barbaric treatment, but it actually works. Maggots consume dead tissue while leaving the healthy parts, so putting maggots on a wound is a remarkably effective way to clean it. It is uncommon today for doctors to use this method, assuming their patients aren't too squeamish.
I want to say I've seen that on a survival show before.
Bear Grylls or something.
No, he's pro piss. Bear Grylls is pro piss. He will piss on whatever in himself, on himself, whatever needs to happen. That dude is probably 90% piss. Anyway, so I've seen it in the movie. Like a gaping leg wound packed with maggots. Mm-hmm. Somebody tell me what scene I'm thinking of. What movie is it? Because it's been in my head since I read this, and I can't think of what.
Bert's our movie guy. Damn it. Blue Spaghetti.
Blue Spaghetti.
There was a zombie movie, somebody lost their arm, they put maggots on it, but I don't think that's what you're thinking about.
In my mind, I picture a muscular thigh, something based in a historic period, a gaping thigh wound that eventually gets stuffed full of maggots. And then covered. And then when the patient wakes up, they're like, what the fuck? But then they're like, it's okay.
Yeah, not coming to me. Sorry.
Well, shit. We'll never know. Anyway, I learned about maggots in movies. And apparently it's movie knowledge that's real. So if you're ever Bear Grylls style in the woods, don't pee in the wound or do anything weird. Just put maggots in it.
Maggots!
I think that's nice. And I know that you shouldn't do leeches either, but... And I hate to bring up like a not-so-awesome movie, but do you remember Speed 2 Cruise Control? Where Willem Dafoe controls his copper poisoning by bathing with leeches because it sucks the copper out of his blood?
I don't remember that.
Well...
I remember the first Speed better than the second Speed.
Yeah, I don't think I've even seen the second Speed.
Unfortunately, I've seen it. You are not missing much.
Was Keanu Reeves in it?
Nope. Just Sandra Bullock.
Oh,
Sandra
really?
Bullock, some other dude that I can't remember, and Willem Dafoe was the bad guy.
He makes a good bad guy.
He does. His face is great. I just watched Boondock Saints a little bit ago.
Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't a bad guy in that, but he was hilarious in it. So, we're getting to the grand finale soon. Malaria injections. Syphilis was a major problem back in the late 19th, early 20th. Doctors found that the bacteria that causes it was sensitive to heat. So they thought giving a patient a fever would get rid of it. Might as well boil the motherfucker. What's a good way to get a fever? Give them malaria. To be fair, these malaria injections were effective in curing syphilis, but unfortunately some of the patients would then die from, you guessed it, malaria.
So it did get rid of the syphilis.
It did.
Wow.
There's a vaccine for malaria now, so...
Yeah.
I mean, well, now you know a roundabout way of curing syphilis. So if your evil insurance company comes back and they're like, you need this, be like, nah, I'm going to cut corners and save myself about $6,000. I want you to give me malaria, and then I want the malaria vaccination.
Oh, God.
I know South America, you get bit by the mosquitoes that you guys said we don't
then you
need.
get malaria for free, and then they come back and you treat it. You get, guys, if you got syphilis.
Don't give medical advice. Stop right now, Purple Pancake. Stop right now.
Listen here, Blue Spaghetti.
There's liabilities. Don't do what Purple Pancake says to do.
Unless it's maggots in a wound. If you have no other choice, if you're abandoned in the woods somewhere, or like dump half dead in a dumpster, maggots!
Disclaimer, just do what you feel is right. Don't listen to us. This is not an
educational
educational
podcast. But always contact
podcast.
a physician, or talk to your local fucking whatever. God, you're ruining all my advice.
We're going to get sued. Dr. Purple Pancake.
Dr. Purple Pancake. It could be. I don't think it'd be medical, though. Although I could see me doing some lobotomies, though. Seriously. I can make a list right now. The Kleister syringe. Would you pronounce that Kleister?
Kleister, yes.
The Kleister syringe. They used to take enemas seriously back in the day. Everything leads to the butthole in this episode. Early medicine was pretty limited, so enemas, or Kleisters, they named it after, of course, the syringe, were used a lot. And they believed it cured all kinds of ailments. A large metal syringe would be placed and introduced with medicine, often made of boar's bile, into the patient's, well, you know where they stuck the syringe. I get enemas, kinda, but boar's bile?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they.
That's an acidic-ass area. Why are we putting bore acid up in there? I guess putting heroin up there would have killed him.
Yeah, probably.
What was it? Didn't somebody butt chug and die?
Yeah, I think somebody stuck a tampon soaked in vodka or something.
No, I know a woman that put a tampon in her hoo-hoo soaked in vodka and she died. But I could have swore some dude did it in his butthole with a tampon.
I've heard of people doing it. I'm sure somebody's done it and fucking died.
If you have bleeding like hemorrhoids and stuff, that's just, don't do that shit. People, unless instructed by a doctor, don't stick things in your butt.
I don't know. Nowadays, there's lots of things that go.
Nowadays you can't even get to the third date without eating ass. It's like common practice now, and I'm over here everybody stay away from my butt. Why is that so popular now?
I don't know. I'm not a fan, so I couldn't explain it.
Every other meme I see is about eating ass. I'm like, why? Do you think it's one of those things where people always talk about it but don't do it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I cannot see somebody just so excited to...
Not when you have the other thing there, you know? Why would I want to fucking bury your face in a butthole?
Why would you... I don't even want to look at a butthole. I don't know. I think it's one of those things where everybody talks about it but nobody actually does it.
Yeah, I'm not one that goes out of my way, so...
We're going to have to put out a poll.
Yeah, that's definitely... Let's put that to a poll.
We're going to have to put out a poll. How many actually eat ass?
We're going to be so surprised.
Well, here's the thing. They have to be honest about it, too. Because with all these ass-eating memes out there, I'm telling you, they just want to be part of, the popular crew. But at what point... Do you remember, when you were a kid and stuff, and you were making fun of somebody, and you would call them, a duty face or whatever, and all that stuff was negative. Now it's positive to stick your face in a butthole. That used to be... Yeah! You butt licker. That was what you called somebody when you wanted to seal the deal on that fight, man. Now it's a compliment?
Very good point.
You're just saying people eat Tide Pods.
Hey, God damn it, Blue Spaghetti said earlier, everything changes.
That's true. That is true. We've evolved.
We have evolved.
To eat ass.
Yeah, not in the right direction.
We know heroin's dangerous now.
But now we're going to...
Do we, though? Look at the number of ODs.
Well, no. We don't, we shouldn't say that that's okay.
Not saying it's okay. Just saying, though, we don't know heroin's not bad for us. People still do it.
Rational non-addicts know. Heroin is probably going to fucking kill you.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's not pretty.
The medical community knows drugs is bad. Especially that one.
Drugs are bad.
I like some drugs, not that drug.
Yeah, we're not talking about doing so many shrooms you die.
Exactly.
Heroin, okay, for me, that's endgame. That's the last thing you do before you don't do any drugs anymore because you die.
Mm-hmm.
That's that isn't experimentation. That isn't getting funky with it. That ain't partying in Vegas once, twice a year, whatever. That's endgame.
Yep, I agree. But now butthole eating, that's what? Hep A? Hep B, maybe?
We're talking We're talking food poisoning.
Pink eye.
Yeah! That's another reason why I don't think it's fake. How many motherfuckers with pink eye you see running around?
Everybody got pink eye going around. You're a butthole eater.
You're like, hey, I'm going on a first date. You go into work the next day, you got pink eye, but fucking
if it was that popular, there'd be billboards about somebody bleaching assholes in Cincinnati. I'm telling you right now, I'd be on billboards. Like, your boyfriend want to eat it? Yeah, we'll clean it. Come on in. We got coupons.
I like that pitch, that fucking phrase. You want to eat it? We'll clean it.
That's how I know it's fake. Nobody's eating ass, man, or bear. Billboard about it. It's fucking downtown Cincinnati.
You want to eat it? We'll clean it.
Hold on. I gotta Google if there's any fucking billboards about cleaning buttholes.
I guarantee you there probably is out in L.A.
What are they? Bleaching, right?
Yeah.
Butthole.
I mean, they
bleaching,
do it, but yeah.
NCI. In Cincinnati. Butthole bleaching in Cincinnati. God, my Google searches is fucked.
Tarot card readings pull up instead.
Butthole bleaching in Cincinnati, Ohio. Let's Google this. You can get it over the counter. Fuck! They're beating buttholes. They're eating buttholes.
It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. Oh my god. Is there... Wait, no. But still, seriously though, you can do it at home. But when we know it's an outbreak when they're doing it professionally. So, oh shit. We've got salons. Anal bleaching, anal waxing. It's happening. It's happening.
It is happening.
It's happening. People are eating ass. It is happening.
Eating times are near. Motherfuckers worried about Donald Trump and we have an ass-eating epidemic.
But they must be cleaning up buttholes good because I ain't seen nobody with pink eye.
Yeah, true.
What did I say? Your man wants to eat it, we'll clean it.
Yeah. You want to eat it, we'll clean it.
I'm so sorry. I'm losing it now.
Bring it back in, purple pancake.
Bring it back. My pancakiness is out of control. It's just going to get worse. Because we're getting to the meat and potatoes of figuring out what the fuck was going on back in the day with medicine. Cigar smoke enemas. Okay.
Now, who administered these?
Just wait.
Cubans.
Because I was so impressed with this, I Wikipedia'd it. And you know how I don't really like to look up stuff on Wikipedia. Tobacco smoke enema is tobacco smoke being introduced to the rectum by enema as a medical treatment employed by European physicians for a range of ailments. Let's see. I'm gonna cut through the bullshit. Okay, they used to do it for hernias. That makes sense.
Why does that make sense?
Yeah, please.
Well, like, I mean, hernias can be anywhere.
And tobacco smoke cures that?
No, I mean, I get why they put some things that they're like, oh, that'll cure it. Like, but why does it have to go in the butthole? It's like, you have a headache. Let's put something in your butthole. To me, that doesn't make sense. But if you have hemorrhoids and you put something in your butthole, that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? If it's something digestive and they put something up your butthole, that makes sense. But like, oh, you have an ear infection? We're going to put your antibiotic in your butthole. Don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? You see where my mind goes with this?
It made me think of Cartman where they poop out your mouth.
But aren't when like babies, like toddler or like really small babies, don't they like put the medicine in their buttholes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they take their temperature rectally too.
It's easier that way.
Yeah, but they're moving and things are a little in the whatnot.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that kind of makes sense. But also, I've never seen a nurse turn my kid over and put a thermometer in his butthole. That would upset me. They put it in his pit because I know how to make my kid hold still.
Yeah.
But if he was super sick and it was an emergency situation and there was like maybe vomit all over the place involved, please help my child. Anyway, tobacco was recognized as medicine soon after it's first imported from the New World. Tobacco smoke was used by Western medical practitioners as a tool against cold and drowsiness. Just chill out. It gets worse. By applying it by enema was a technique adapted by the North American Indians. The procedure was used to treat gut pain, makes sense, in attempts to often make, and this is where it gets weird, resuscitate victims of near drowning.
So tobacco smoke would
help your gut, take care of hernias, hemorrhoids, and resuscitate a drowning victim.
I don't know. Maybe it's the whole pressure on the diaphragm causing the water to leave their lungs.
I don't know. Now, there is a way that they use it later, but right now they're sticking smoke up your butt when you drown.
Oh, so that's, yeah.
And they don't want to do mouth to mouth. I don't know where that mouth's been.
So, alright. So, it kind of explains things later. So, the tobacco was advocated to be a treatment for diseases such as cancer, headaches, respiratory problems, stomach cramps, gout, intestinal worms, and female diseases, which is apparently just being pissed off and having lady parts. Apparently, we were just 10 shades of diseased because we were ladies. Let's see. It was against cold. So, to sum up, instead of talking about all of these diseases, because I've read this already, the whole thing was, when you die, you get cold, right? So, if you're drowning and you're cold, it's to bring warmth back to your body. Smoke, cigarette, fire, warmth. I mean, this was like how they got to it was weird as fuck. It was like a group of doctors sat in a room and one went cold, and the other went hot. The other one fire, and the one guy was smoking a cigar, and he goes, "Let's put it in their ass!" It got there in a weird way.
So that was their thought process behind it.
From my research, that's how they got there. Also, a woman sentenced to death for killing her newborn was hung, and what happened here? How did they mess this up? Sentenced to death and to be hanged in 1650 for the supposed murder of her stillborn baby. So it was stillborn, but they thought she murdered her baby.
Poor lady.
Let's see. They revived her. What? If you're going to hang this chick, why are you reviving her? Anyway, they revived her by pouring hot cordial down her throat, rubbing her limbs and extremities, bleeding her, applying hot plasters to her, and putting the smoke up her butt to heat and warm her bowels. And then after, they stuck her in a bed with another woman naked, and she made a full recovery and was pardoned.
She was stuck in a bed with another woman naked.
For body heat.
Oh.
So this woman, they said, "You killed your baby." She said, "No, I didn't. It was stillborn." And they're like, "Fuck it. We said you killed the baby. We're going to hang you." So then, for whatever reason, she didn't die when she was hung, but she almost did. So they revived her, poured hot liquid down her throat, rubbed her up, bled her, applied plaster to her, stuck smoke up her ass, and then put her butt naked with a chicken bed. She made a full recovery.
Wow, yes. What a process.
It's a fucking party. Oh, God. So artificial respiration was the blowing of smoke into the lungs, or the rectum, was thought to be interchangeably useful, and the smoke of the enema was considered to be most potent method due to supposed warming and stimulation properties. So... I don't even know. Oh, man. Are there any other really good stories? Oh, here's the one. Okay, this I kind of get. So they also said that you could cure a collapsed lung. So the lung would collapse and they would pump your lungs full of smoke. But with that smoke was also air. I get that. Mm-hmm. And they thought, like, because of the properties and the naturalness of, because at that point, tobacco was a leaf, man. They weren't putting fucking, what are they, cyanide and shit?
Yep.
So basically they were pumping like herbs and air into your lungs. They thought it was all healing and whatever. So I kind of get that. Oh, how they got the drowning victim thing. How you could revive somebody after they've almost drowned by using a cigar smoke enema. I'm not going to say this guy's name. A documented case of resurrection by rectally applying tobacco smoke in 1746, when a seemingly drowned woman was treated. On the advice of a passing sailor, the woman's husband inserted the stem of the sailor's pipe into her rectum, covered the bowl with a piece of perforated paper, and blew hard. The woman apparently was revived.
Wow.
It's too late for this.
I'd love to see a doctor's school book from back in those days.
Oh, So I did look up a picture of the device because I'm like, what device are we professionally blowing smoke up people's ass with? It was like a billows type situation. I mean, it looked like a legitimate device. It was like this bent tube and whatnot, and then like the middle part of it looked like a big squishy bellows, and then the other part was for air or whatever, and then you put, and it wasn't like a cigar like you think in a big fat stogie up somebody's butthole. They used pipes. So
kind of like a bong or something.
I mean, it looked dangerous. It looked sexual. It looked medical. There was all sorts of things happening in these pictures. So the decline of cigarettes or cigar smoke enemas. Attacks on the theory surrounding the ability of tobacco to cure disease begun in the early 17th century when King James said, "This is bullshit," basically. Others claim that smoking dried out the humors. This is their terminology. Others claim that smoking dried out the humors, that snuff made the brain sooty, and that old people should not smoke as they are naturally dried up anyway.
Wow.
Why is this so funny to me? Fucking Blue Spaghetti seems unimpressed.
My legs hurt. I need some tobacco smoke enemas.
Well, sit down.
No, I can't. That's the problem.
Then lean down into the microphone and I'll prescribe you a cigar up the butt.
No.
So, while certain beliefs regarding the effectiveness of tobacco smoke to protect against disease persisted well into the 20th century, the use of smoke enemas in Western medicine declined after 1811. When, through animal experimentation, because now we start experimenting on animals, Benjamin Brodie demonstrated that nicotine, the principal agent in tobacco smoke, is a cardiac poison and can stop the circulation of blood. Which is crazy that they didn't have more problems using this, because the circulation of blood in your butthole is crazy. And that's why people die when they stick tampons, vodka-soaked tampons in your butthole.
Yep, the membrane. Butt chug.
It's so thin down there. Dangerously thin.
I think it'd be thicker, fucking pushing out all that shit and bacteria and whatnot.
I don't know what to think, honestly. Just because, like, I don't know.
Just don't eat ass.
Yeah, first of all, don't eat ass. Second of all, I think there's so many things wrong with the design of the human body. It's ridiculous. Like tooth pain. Why? Why do they fall out?
Tooth pain's the worst.
Tooth pain is fucking why? Why the wisdom? Why?
Yeah, really.
Why? Okay, mucus. Why? Why did I have mucus free-flowing in my brain for why so much? 5 weeks! 5 fucking weeks. I went through like $50 in tissues and over-the-counter meds. Why so much mucus? What is the point?
Yeah.
Why is the butt... Why so much innards? Why if, like, you know, you're... Okay, they say that after 35 it's unhealthy to have a baby. Why didn't my period stop at 35? Why? There's so many things wrong with the human body. A bloody butthole is just something else. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Never having to shit again would be nice.
Like your skin is so thick, but your butt's useless, kind of.
Yeah.
You have eyelashes. There's no lashes on your butthole. There's nothing to protect the butt. And yet I have something to protect my eyeballs. And they're little thin things of hair. Anyway, people, don't eat ass. It's weird. Oh, I did forget one. This is just silly. Sitting in a dead whale to cure rheumatoid arthritis.
What?
So apparently some Australian dude got drunk as fuck. I got pictures. Fell into the carcass of a dead whale. And when he came out, he said it made him feel better and he was all spry and shit and his joints and muscles didn't hurt.
He was probably still drunk.
Exactly. But because of that one guy that fell drunk into a whale, people all over the wherever whales wash up on shores were sitting in dead fucking whales to cure arthritis.
I wonder if any of those people had any luck.
I don't know. And they did this up as to early as 1896.
Wow.
Yeah. I
mean, it's like the rattlesnake oil sells people during the friggin' Western days, right?
Yeah.
This crazy elixir solves baldness, diarrhea, chlamydia,
and that was
blah,
probably
blah, blah.
full of heroin.
Or it was just rattlesnake venom with water.
It's all sorry. That was an episode of Archer, the rattlesnake whiskey, the cobra whiskey, and Lady Boys. I love Archer. Love it so much. Hey, speaking of Pink Taco, have you started watching Archer yet?
I have not.
God damn it!
I gotta finish Westworld,
I still got to finish Lucifer and Frasier.
and then I gotta get ready for Game of Thrones. I gotta rewatch all those because the final season's
I need to
coming.
finish it.
It's a fucking great show.
Blue spaghetti, pink taco.
That is correct.
What have we uncovered about what the fuck was going on back in the day?
We don't know what's going on back in the day. We don't know.
I guess we could say from the What the Fuck Files, we're just here to teach you that when your doctor wants to prick your finger or take blood, at least he's not suggesting you sit in a dead whale or that they bleed you to death.
Bloodletting sounds like some voodoo shit.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, like I'm surprised Christians were down with that.
No, like I'm saying, like these upper class people had these special bowls specifically for it. I'm trying to think specifically of what movies I've seen bowls like this in. Yeah, but they just lay out your arm out and a little crook in the bowl, and then they just cut you open right in the...
Oh, well, I guess the theory behind it, they grew the new blood. So.
I mean, if you didn't know, if you didn't have the microscopes to be able to see, I kind of get where the theory comes from.
Yeah.
Some of this stuff...
Kind of like popping a boil, get it all out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
getting rid of the infection.
Yeah.
Although, does anybody know, just off the top, since we're talking about what the fuck, why is it an urban legend or an old wives' tales or whatever you call it about not to pop a blister until after dark?
I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
Couldn't tell you. I heard that too, though, but I don't know.
Well, if anybody out there knows, they can school us in on some more of our what the fuck is going on. Why did they say to not pop a blister till after dark? We need you to tell us. Because we're tired. And Blue Spaghetti is just combing through his phone. And I'm apparently the only one that found cigar smoke enemas funny. And we're slap happy, and I can't read today. What the fuck?
I'm just sore because these dining room chairs are terrible.
Also, if you know of some totally sweet chairs that offer lumbar support, what else do we need? I need lumbar support.
Comfort on the Tushy.
Tushy comfort. Reclines well, but won't drop you on the floor. Let us know what comfy little office chairs you're sitting in, because we are on some hard-ass wood things, and my butt's killing me. My butt and my back are killing me. Anybody else got any ailments? Blue Spaghetti? Your legs are done.
My legs are done. I'm hurting.
My legs are done as well.
Okay, well, since we're all dying from our chairs, let us know about popping blisters after dark and super comfy office chairs. And, yeah, so the What the Fuck Files will be coming whenever we're feeling froggy, man. There's a lot of stuff that makes me go, what the fuck?
What the fuck, yo?
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah. We're going to get into this. We're going to uncover things. We're going to spread knowledge. And if anybody sees a butthole bleaching billboard, please take a picture and send it to me. And if anybody knows anybody wants to come up with a billboard, what was my thing?
If you're gonna eat it, make sure to clean it.
If you're going to eat it, we'll clean it.
Yeah, we'll
If
clean
you're
it.
going to eat it, we'll clean it. That is fucking mine. Patented. Mine. Purple pancake. Potty Mouse. Mine. If you're going to eat it, we'll clean it.
Also, send bleached butthole pictures to bradkellerda@yahoo.com. Only females, though.
You're going to get 99.99999% dog and dude buttholes.
Yeah.
You know that now,
Dog
right?
buttholes. Big old dong pictures.
So my cats stick their butthole in my face every day. It doesn't faze me at all. Especially Delilah.
She's a bad kitty.
What she likes to do, she likes to stick her butthole in my face and then turn around and then make mini biscuits and then lay down with me. But she has to show me her butthole before she makes biscuits. It's just what she does.
It's like a dog like, sniff, make sure we're friends.
No, I'm showing you my vulnerable spot, and now I'm going to make this area comfortable, and then I'm going to lay down in it. And she cuddles with me. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Buttholes.
Wow.
Anyway, so I guess we're done with this being uncomfortable bullshit. So this is the purple pancake.
You're going to tell people where they can find us at and all that good stuff?
I thought we were being secretive. Do they need to know? Alright, hold on. Besides the butthole pics to Pink Taco Brad.
Yes.
You can reach us at Potty Mouths for Twitter, at Mouths Potty, on our Instagram page and on Facebook. You can find our episodes on Podbean and the Podbean app, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, our YouTube page, and Google Play. We'd like to thank everybody for our nonsense. This is our first What the Fuck Files, but we're going to bring more, and hopefully the next time it'll be a little better researched and we'll be a little more comfortable. So let us know about them chairs, people. Let us know about those chairs. But this is, today, Purple Pancake.
Blue Spaghetti.
Bigfoot's real.
Pink Tacos, good night.
See ya.